Hello friends and welcome, and thanks so much for joining me today. If you like the idea of a quick and easy out-the-door makeup look using mostly just one palette, you have come to the right place today. Because today I'm going to be using an all-matte 15-pan palette to do my brows, eyes, blush, highlight, and contour. The only other products I'll need to complete the look are eye primer, mascara, foundation, and lipstick. If you're already a friend of this channel, thank you so much for taking time to join me again today. And if you're here for the very first time, I thank you for stopping by. My name is Elise, and I'm a working professional makeup artist whose passion is helping all of us who are over 50 look like the very best version of ourselves. As one woman commented recently, things are starting to droop, gray, and change, but my makeup routine is what I had when I was 25. My makeup isn't looking right, but I can't figure out what I'm doing wrong. So every Thursday on this channel, we focus on tips, techniques, and makeup products that help us look our very best now. So if this approach sounds interesting, please hit that subscribe button and join our wonderful family. And if you'd like to be notified each time a new video is available, all you have to do is tap that bell icon, which is below the video and to the right. Now let's get down to today's business. The face and eye palette I'll be using today is from Dominique Cosmetics. Dominique Cosmetics was launched in 2018 by Kristen Dominique, who has a pretty interesting story. She'd always loved makeup, but it was at the age of 14 that she really discovered the transformative power of makeup. She was teased a great deal at school about the dark circles under her eyes. So one day she sneaked into her mother's room, grabbed her mother's yellow corrector, and saw the dark circles magically disappear. After using the corrector to hide those dark circles, her confidence improved and she started speaking up and making new friends. As she experimented with makeup, girls at school started asking for her help with their makeup. She became known, as a matter of fact, as the locker room makeup artist and would often have a long line of classmates waiting to get made over. Seeing how happy and beautiful they felt fostered her love of makeup artistry. After high school, she did freelance makeup, but then real life kicked in. She was in school, she was working full-time at a medical insurance company, was married, had a son, and reluctantly had to let her makeup go. Her clients suggested she do some YouTube videos, and her channel grew like wildfire, which led to the launch of her company. Her hope is that her company's products can do for others what that yellow corrector did for her years ago. She created this Transitions palette, which does almost everything in the way of face makeup, because she wanted to offer a palette that would help us simplify our lives. What makes this palette work so well is that she's covered all the bases. These colors can define, they can contour, brighten, and highlight our eyes and our face. There are warm, neutral, and cool tones that range from very light to very dark, and there are also beautiful gradations of shades in between. You really almost can't make a mistake in picking any of these colors for an eye look. Now, not all matte eyeshadows will blend well onto the face, but according to the product description, the formulation of these mattes is creamy and buttery and not drying. So hopefully they'll work wonderfully well on the face as well as the eyes. I've also heard that there's very little fallout when applying these colors, so I'm hoping that's the case. It's also helpful that the pan sizes are large enough to accommodate larger face brushes. First, let me go ahead and swatch all of these colors so you can see how beautifully they work together. Here you have the first 2 rows of color. And here's the bottom row of 5 colors. I definitely think I have to improve my swatching skills. But hopefully you were able to see the real wonderful gradation of colors. I've already gone ahead and applied my eye primer and done my face prep, which involves some extra moisturizing since I'll be using makeup products today that are all powder. Then I applied face primer and foundation. Now I normally would not do my face makeup before eye makeup, but since, as I mentioned earlier, I've heard that there really isn't much fallout with this palette, I thought maybe it was safe to go ahead and do that. We'll see. Although I have used this palette for eyeshadow looks, this will be the first time that I'm using the colors in this palette for my face products. So I'll be using this one palette to do just about everything. My eyebrows, my eyeshadow, my eyeliner. I'm going to brighten under my eye area, contour my face, and also add some blush. It's going to be a little tricky to come up with an eyebrow color, so I'm going to start off light and then deepen the color if I need to do so. With my brow color, I need to use cool or neutral tones because my eyebrows are definitely not a warm tone of brown. So I'm going to go ahead and combine Toffee in the top row, which is quite light, with Mocha and Ash in the bottom row. Now, I'm not sure how this is going to work out, but we can always start over if it goes very wrong, which is, after all, one of the wonderful advantages of makeup. We can always wash it off. Then I'm using the spoolie to brush it through so it looks more natural. I'm adding just a little extra ash to this color. For a quick and easy, lightly fill in the brows, I think this worked pretty well. Next, let's go ahead and do the eyes. I'm going to put the lightest color Frothy across my eyelids, under the arch of my brows, and on the inner corner of my eyes. This is kind of an eggshell color. It really works well. Now, obviously, if your skin is deeper than mine, you will probably want to go with a different color. See, that really brightens up the eyelids. Then I'm going to go under the brows just to lift my eye area. And since I've already applied foundation, I'm going to go over that arch too. This helps lift even more. And then on the inner corners. I would love to be able to talk about something other than what I'm doing when I'm applying my eye makeup, or any of my makeup for that matter. But for me, it's kind of like having to pat the top of my head and chew gum at the same time. I can't seem to manage it very well, so maybe one of these days I'll be able to do it. For the crease area and slightly above the crease, I'm going to start off by blending Natural, which is the second lightest color and has a slightly warmer tone, with the mid-tone warm shade Caramel. So I'm mixing together Natural and the shade to the right of it, which is Caramel. So do you say caramel or caramel? I don't know. I seem to alternate between two different pronunciations of that. Maybe it depends on what part of the country we live in. Oh, I really like the combination of those two colors. And I'm going to bring it up slightly at the outer edge. And then I'm just going to blend the outer edge as though I really don't need to do much of it, because this just goes on so easily and blends so well together. Now that by itself would just be a lovely soft look, but of course I want to try out as many colors as possible, so we're going to deepen it with a few other colors. So next, I'm going to apply Hazelnut to the outer lid and outer crease area. It's a deeper, warm color. And this is Hazelnut right in the bottom left. So I'm just really stamping it on the outer corner with this angled brush, which I love. And then I'm flipping the brush over a little bit and just going into the crease area. This happens to be a Real Techniques brush. Unfortunately, it is not being sold still by Real Techniques, but it can be found elsewhere on the web. It's called their Instapop brush, and there's a small one like this, and then there's a larger one. I think they still include the larger one in some of their packages of brushes. I have yet to find a color I don't like in this palette. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe how easily these blend. Now again, this would be a great look as is, but we're going to go ahead and deepen the outer corner just a little bit more. So to do that, I'm going to add just a touch of Mocha and Coffee Bean mixed together. Here is Mocha in the bottom row, and this is Coffee Bean. So I wiped off that same brush, and I'm just going to put that combination of Mocha and Coffee Bean in the outer corner. And you really don't need much because these are pretty darn pigmented. But I got it darker on one side than the other, so I'm going to build this one up a little bit. You see how easily these blend? And the colors just go so beautifully with each other. You cannot make a mistake. This may become one of my new favorite neutral palettes. Just because it's always a good idea to do a little extra blending once you think you've already finished. So I'm going to go ahead and just go over it one more time with a clean brush. Then I'm going to tilt my head back and look down a bit with my eyes slightly closed to see if it looks even on both eyes. Okay, this one looks a little darker to me, so I'm going to do some more blending. On the outer 1/3 of the bottom lash line, I'm going to apply hazelnut and a little of the mocha color. I love using the Sigma E30 brush to do this. I've just discovered this brush and I really love it. And I'm just going to brush to make sure I get any fallout, but I really don't see any. For my eyeliner, I'm going to go ahead and use the darkest brown, which is coffee bean, and mix it with coal, which is a dark brown black. Here is coal, and coffee bean is in the middle row on the far right. And I'm going to use that E30 brush I used on the lower lash line to soften that a bit and get any excess off with a Q-tip. Now onto the face. I'm going to use Frothy to brighten under my eyes, on the center of my forehead, down my nose, on my chin, and also the nasal labial folds. So under my eyes, down the center of my nose, my forehead, my chin, and my nasal labial folds. Certainly don't want those to recede anymore, so they look deeper. So using this light color helps bring them forward, at least a little. For contour, I'm going to go with a very light touch of mocha. So this was Frothy that I just used to highlight, and this is mocha that I'm going to use to contour. And then I'm going to go under the jawline and right here. And that really gives a nice, soft, natural look. I'm really impressed. For blush, I'm going to be using the shade called Blushing. This is the color called Blushing. Just going to put it in the middle of the cheekbone area. It's a nice, soft, natural look. Just gives a little extra color. And I'm going to bring a little bit up here too. So I'm just making sort of a semicircle here. That just sort of unifies the face look. And for highlight, I'm going to go back and apply Frothy on the top of my cheekbones. And there's a new trend on TikTok, which I'm trying right now, which is to put some light color underneath the contour to make the contour stand out a little bit more. I'm going to go ahead and curl my lashes and apply my mascara off camera, and I will be right back. So I've added some mascara, and here is the final look. I should mention too that when we were off camera, I added a little bit of this color as blush. It has more of a pink tone, and it's called Soft and Sweet. So here are my thoughts after using many of the colors in this Dominique Transitions Eye and Face palette for the very first time. They do glide on beautifully and are wonderfully creamy, and I do really love this palette. But since I do have very dry skin, I probably wouldn't use powder, blush, highlighter, and bronzer on a regular basis, but they're great for creating a quick look when I'm in a hurry. And the Dominique Cosmetics powders I used as blush and contour can be applied over cream products, which makes the cream products more long-lasting. And to be honest, I am really pleasantly surprised by how beautifully all of these face colors worked. And I can definitely see myself using every color in this beautiful palette for eyeshadow. I also love how buttery smooth and creamy these shadows are. They truly glide on and have very little fallout. Another thing that makes this palette really stand out for me is the wonderful gradation of color from shadow to shadow in this palette, and the fact that these colors go from extremely light to very dark with a wonderful grouping of colors in between. So in essence, you can pick almost any combination of colors in this eyeshadow palette and not go wrong. It's darn foolproof, which is great if you're a beginner and also great if you want to create quick and easy eyeshadow looks. And I definitely also see using these beautiful neutral mattes as great base colors for more colorful palettes. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you found this eye and face color application helpful and interesting. And if so, please give it a thumbs up. And in the comment section below, I'd love to hear what your favorite neutral eyeshadow palette is and what your thoughts are on this particular palette. And before we conclude, I also want to let you know that if you'd like to receive my weekly newsletter or learn more about a Zoom makeup consultation, or both, all you need to do is drop me a note at boomerandbeyondbeauty@gmail.com. Until we see each other again, I hope you'll stay happy and healthy and have a fabulous rest of your day. Take care.